I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes Community News, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But first, if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course you'll stay up to date with everything we do here on the channel. Now, I do apologize for the gravelly sound of my voice. The little ones did pass on their cold to me, and those of you wondering in the comments and DMing me how the little pilot is doing, he's doing fantastic. He is just getting over a cold. He's still running a slight fever, and now he shared that wonderful gift with me. But other than that, he is doing great. He is a tiny tornado able to destroy rooms in under 3.2 seconds. And we're not even going to get into the amount of Christmas decorations I cannot put up, since he's going to take them right down. And since we are talking about structures coming down, that's going to bring us right into the first story. And basically, it's the main story that we've been seeing for the last week and a half or so. Or it's been building for a little while, but we are in the throes of, I believe this is the fourth great server war of New Eden. Now, this isn't just basically coalition versus coalition. This is basically a coalition of half the server going against Silent Federation. Those of you who are not living out in nullsec and don't really follow the politics of everything that's going on, let me break it down on how this all started. A couple weeks ago, there was noticed moves by a couple different organizations, such as No Please Stop and the Space Cows, moving what looked like battleships and some of their cap fleet down to low-sec areas. In hushed backroom Discord channels, as well as DMs, spoken in silence was the possibility of a server war coming, but no one really wanted to let out any information. And just like that, in the beginning of this month, on the 1st, war was announced against Silent. Now, the first to sound that clarion call was No Please Stop, in an announcement stating that fleets against Silent would soon begin. Followed shortly after from the Pirate King Mattyhuh and the Brethren Court joining in on this war, saying that I'll keep it extra short. I hope this is super fun and works towards a good game balance to bring some life into New Eden again. Much respect to our friends in Silent, as Badrick would say, fly aggressive, happy hunting to all, let the holy war begin. And then one by one, alliances and organizations threw in with the Brethren Court and No to jump into this new Crab Army coalition against Silent. They struck hard and fast, swelling big numbers into Silent space to start attacking their structures. In that first week, not only did they set several timers throughout No space, they also have provided New Eden the biggest fleet battle it has seen in ages, which featured 225 Silent pilots versus 500 from the Crab Army. Several content curators have made several videos on this, and there are some stunning pictures of the fight as well. Shortly after, with the coalition numbers swelling, Void did also enter into the coalition. But before they did, the members of the coalition were, on the Silent side, Bot 5, Care Bears with Guns, UF, Silent. Also, there are other Silent holdings such as SHHF, SHHH, SSR, there is CNSH, as well as SDA, which is Saku. On the Crab Army side, there was No, Brethren Court, Trimark, the Space Cows, Yes, Boop, Beer, OG, the newly formed Mildly Dead Alliance, Fear, Yet, and EXDS, sorry, and now Void. Now, there are also several skirmishes and other battles where mostly the coalition would outnumber Silent pilots 4-1. Now, in this stunning turn of events, the blob numbers that the coalition swelled to would then take a drastic turn as Cult issued out an announcement that not only is No pulling out of the war, but they were also disbanding at that time as well, in one of the most epic troll moves the server's ever seen. Now, we did cover this shortly in the, we did cover this in the breaking news, but for those that did not see that episode, the statement said, "For a whole year I was asked to start a war against Silent. For 2 whole years, all wars were won when No came. And now that your wish has finally come true and you've got the war you've dreamed of, take the trouble to win it. I wish the Crab Army the best of luck and victory in this war. No is leaving this war and the game. We are finally disbanding. We find no honor to fight 3 or 4 versus 1. We did not anticipate this coalition growing so big or so strong. Reminder, there will be no safe wars in this game. There will be no safe null sector in this game. You will see us again, Colt. Now, it did take some time for this to set into the mindset of the coalition that the main fighting group was backing out of the war, but the Brethren Court did step up to take hold of leadership of the coalition to push forward and persevere. However, this also does prove the one inevitable fact that Santiago does destroy. Now, the Brethren Court did put out a statement to keep morale going, and it said that it's too early to gauge the net impact of Colt's unexpected proclamation. We already know at least a few former No and Pew FCs and pilots will be rejoining the fight in other Crab Army alliances as they actually want to see the war that they started to play out. As has always been, the arc of the morale universe is long and bends towards justice. The Silent Heads will be delivered this justice as long as we all show up and commit to the worthy task. Brethren Court will continue to lead and fight, and we're proud to have you all with us as we continue to move forward. Don't worry about tomorrow today. For now, fleet up, keep having fun, and creating and seeking the glorious content we've had these past few days together. Silence Pay to Win also put out a statement saying that I've always appreciated No and their commitment to fighting the good fight outnumbered. Today they walked the walk, good on them. To everyone else, I love you. The fun is just getting started. And with that, the fighting still continues. Now, when No was still a part of the coalition, they had a commanding lead over the Silent Federation. Now, also, you can see the live war statistics through a bot from Eve Mobi, but you could also go to the Eve Mobi Discord and see live, up-to-date accounting of what's being destroyed. So, a week ago, before No left, the Crab Army had a total destroyed amount of 251 billion ISK, and that included 36 battle cruisers, 26 battleships, a carrier, a command destroyer, Corporation Citadel, 65 cruisers, 34 destroyers, almost 200 frigates. As you can see right here, it's vast. Now, that dwarfed Silence contribution of 94.8 billion ISK. As a surprising turn at the beginning of this war, Honk actually distanced themselves and removed themselves from the Silent Federation in an announcement stating that Honk is no longer at war. They thank Silent for giving them a home and being glued to them over the past 18 months, as well as thanking the pilots on either side of the war. But in the end, they said, as of this post-publication, Honk will be resetting their standings to all entities in the game, except for Void, who will remain blue until they are finished evacuating from Syndicate, as per the terms of their surrender at the close of the intermittent war. Now, currently, for a total list of who is involved in this server war, on the Silent side is Bot 5, Care Bears with Guns, CCWG, UF, SHH, SHHF, SHHH, SSR, CNSF, SDA, and V. And on the Crab Army, you have the Brethren Court, Trimarch, the Space Cows, Yes, Boop, Beer, OG, Mildly Dead, Fear, EXDS, Wild Geese, Void, Tico, Redhead Stepchildren, AOA, TFA, and you also have the Yellow Jackets in DWPL, formerly of No. They are without an alliance. Now, the ones that have pulled the plug from this war is everyone that was involved in No, even though that some of them may have found homes in others. Yet has also pulled out of this war, and the Red Scorpions have also pulled out of this war. Now, as you see from the battle stats, that the Silent has basically caught up and surpassed is killed, and they've actually been doing a very, very good job defending their solve. In fact, in an instance where there was 8 whole timers set up in Silent space, the Crab Coalition was only able to take 1 of them, leaving the other 7. And in that one objective, Boop was able to entosis a citadel. But the war ever moves forward, and in fact there was a massive battle last night in the system of E9KD Tech N in the Fade region. Now this featured almost 300 pilots in the system, and it was another large escalated battle. Now, in the start of the fight, Silent did push half of the Crab Coalition fleet off of grid, while the other half was encased in Dictor bubbles. The Crab army went off and also repositioned back on grid on the gate and started their long form into the blue mass. In the end, the defense fleet of Silent was able to wipe the battleships from the Crab army out of the grid, destroying them, as well as most of their battle cruisers, with only a few capsules and frigates left to escape. I'm told on both sides it was a blast and everyone had a great time. Now, you may have also seen on Reddit is basically plagued now with just propaganda from both sides, which is always enjoyable in these wars. Now, I'm not going to dive into the propaganda because every side spins the war a different way. So we're not going to look at that. We're just going to look at the facts, the statistics, and the information that is given to us. But I will say that if the Crab Coalition is looking to wipe out all of Silent Sov, they do have a very large uphill battle due to the amount of citadels just throughout Declan and all of Silent Space. Now, due to the rubber band effect that has happened in the momentum of this war due to no pulling out, I did reach out to Tahini because I wanted to ask a burning question. And the question was, now that a few days have gone by since No pulled out and disbanded, as a seasoned FC and PvP veteran, in your opinion, how does the Crab Army fare with these odds? And in your professional opinion, do you see a path to victory for them? He replies, I think they should do fine. They easily have the numbers, and combined they have a big cap fleet. If they have the determination, they will prevail. Now, at the time of this recording, there has not been a cap fleet fight in this server war from Silent versus the Crab Army. So maybe we will get to see that in the upcoming weeks of this war. If one thing has shown us, that this is going to be a very long war, and it's not going to be over in just a week. Oh, how a bunch of days changes everything in the middle of a war. That's right, I'm re-editing this video again to give you the live war statistics of the fighting going on. And this is of 12/15/22, the statistics that we're going to go over. But a lot of things have happened. And I know I'm late with this video. Trust me, I've gotten your DMs, I've gotten the comments on the site, and I am sorry for that, but you know, the little pilot was sick, then he got me sick, my whole job kind of upturned. They sent me to a new divisional area, so I had to learn and get readjusted down in that area. And I'm also fighting my own war in the game itself, so I do apologize for the lateness of the video. But moving forward, I am going to be doing the community wrap-up each week with all the news stories, but I'm also planning on doing war reports either every day or every other day, 5 to 10 minute video, if that, just to give you what's going on and the new up-to-date statistics in the overall war. But let's move on and see exactly what happened. Now, a lot of things have happened recently in this war, including the Crab Army taking a lot of points of Sov, one of which was lovingly called Second Jita from Care Bears with Guns, E-FICO. But let's jump right in and talk about the actual statistics that are going on. And like I said before, you can get these all from Mobi. You can get the bot put in on your Discord so you can stay up to date, or you can just go on over to the Mobi website Discord. So currently right now, Silent Federation has a total kill count of 3,998 kills. Now this gives it a grand total, now this is amazing, 3.1 trillion ISK destroyed. And this is against the Crab Army's 4,162 kills and 2.5 trillion ISK in damages done. Now you may be wondering how this happened. Well, just in the last 24 hours, Bot 5 sought out and killed 9 carriers belonging to the Crab Coalition. And in doing so, this shot them or propelled them forward by 600 billion ISK in damages done. And I do apologize for the pitter-pattering that you're hearing. I am recording this currently in a mobile studio in the rain. But just look at these kill counts. I mean, almost 1,500 frigates, 262 destroyers, almost 600 cruisers, 800 battle cruisers, almost 600 battleships, and of course 160 industrial ships. But they have killed a total of 11 carriers and 3 dreads, and they've also killed 16 capsular outposts and 1 citadel. Now this is kills, not stolen, because in the beginning of the war, when Void and everyone else was unanchoring their possets since they were moving north, Silent was able to get in and steal a whole slew of personal outposts before the war really kicked off. But let's move on to the Crab Army's kills. Obviously, their regular ships aren't as impressive numbers. They've killed almost 2,000 frigates, 334 destroyers, 426 cruisers, 574 battle cruisers, 560 battleships, and 163 industrial ships. Only 4 carriers and 2 dreadnoughts. But if you look at structurally, they have killed 41 outposts. They have destroyed 2 citadels. They have captured 20 level 2 citadels and 11 T3 citadels. So it really depends on your outlook of this war, of who is really winning. One could say structurally, definitely, the Crab Coalition or the Crab Army is in the lead right now. And from just these statistics, it looks like they are massacring Silent. But if you go to the kill count, and if you know, structures is not your objective, if it's just pure ISK damage, then Silent is leading the war almost by 600 billion ISK. And then that brings us to the third entity of the war, and that's Chunks. Now, if you're wondering what Chunks is, it's the forces of Honk, HRNX, X, RETC, B0OP, and Goop. Now, they are all fighting separate wars other places. In other words, we're going to get into the RETC war just coming up in just a few moments, but these entities aren't really a part of the war proper. But they did land themselves on this war statistics page with 741 kills, almost a trillion in ISK damages, 922.9 billion. They have killed 6 dreads, one fax, and we're going to get into the fax kills. Trust me, I know. We had a server first happen, I think it was last week, and then followed by 2 more. We're going to get into all of that. And like I said, it's going to be a long episode, and I am sorry that it is coming so late. But structurally, they've also killed 2 outposts. And before we move on to those stories, there's one other thing I need to address for this whole server war that is currently going on. And that is that people have been wondering why they've been seeing Pew and X on the grid during a fight with Silent. People are wondering if No is actually currently paying them as mercs. So naturally, I did have to reach out to Tahini to find out what's going on and why they're on the grid in these battles. I asked them point blank, do you guys work for Silent as mercs currently, or did Pew and X join Silent as the with their alliance? And Tahini says no. As far as I know, only 2 corps from No and Yet have contract, and that's CRB and X. Pew is just sipping mojitos in Nosec, enjoying our retirement, and roaming around for content now and then. But however, we will be available for hire soon enough. I asked because of the reason that they've been spotted on grid with Silent, and before this turned into wild conspiracy and conjecture, I wanted to actually get the truth of the story. And he says yes, they were on grid. However, they were also shooting Silent as well. He says that in the fight that they had on the 11th, they were actually killing a lot of the Silent Logi and their battleships. So basically, they're there on the grid picking off both sides for some easy kills.
As we turn to the other side of the map, a new war, a secret war, has started in Fountain between the RETC crabs against Boop. Most know of the love-hate relationship between RETC and Boop, and from what I told from leadership, RETC felt neglected by their neighbors, and Boop over to their assault systems and stripped out shields from 5 of their citadels, only to return the next night to take armor in a series of 5 objectives. Now, once they did jump into the system of C-Tech N40D, they were met with a defensive battleship fleet bubbled on the gate. They jumped in and started fighting right away, but the defensive fleet was not expecting the several caps that had jumped the system over as well to move into the system. RETC was able to push them off the grid, and then they all went to the Citadel to start stripping the armor. Now, they were teased by caps sitting on the Citadel, docking and redocking, as well as several ships that came out to fight, such as this Macarial. When halfway through the armor, the enemy did bring in several covert ops ships, which uncloaked and lit up some Sinos. The mixed fleet of T and Boop sinoed in about 7 caps and undocked. A large battle did ensue on the grid, which did result in the wiping of that battleship fleet, as well as taking 5 of those 7 caps. After RETC downed 3 of those caps, another Sino was lit, and 2 were able to make it out, while Naglfar and a Revelation were locked in place. This battle did end with the death of that Revelation, as well as that Nag and the dwindling battleship defensive fleet. The battle ended with 5 caps downed on the Boop side, as well as their battleship fleet, and the armor stripped away from that Citadel, leaving a whole timer up in the days to follow. Now, there is a great video of this fight over on Mattyhuh's website, his YouTube channel, which I will have a link for you down in the description below. Now, of course, this attack on Boop's base was not going to go unanswered. In fact, Boop formed up a fleet of over 150, not just them, but other Crab Coalition entities, took time off from attacking silent objectives in the north to go ahead and attack RETC. This 150-man fleet comprising of Boop, the Space Cows, EXDX, just to name a few. Now, they did set these timers, however, they did not come back to follow up on them, as a massive fleet was waiting for them the next day. This fleet, as far as I know, is the biggest standing cap fleet set up. It featured more than 50 caps on the grid, as well as subcaps waiting. But unfortunately, Boop did poke in, see the numbers, and decided not to follow up on these timers. Since then, there has not been any significant battle in Fountain, yet this smaller war still goes on, and timers are still being set. Now, obviously, we will keep a weathered eye on this situation and the war in Fountain, as Boop is now caught between 2 wars, the one against Silent, and now the one against RETC. Will this drag in other Crab Army entities to fight a single corporation attacking Boop? Or will Boop pull out of the Crab Coalition to fight their rivals, RETC? Also, lastly, we do have a report of a server first. That's right, the first fax has died, and of all places, it died in Providence. Now, I'm not sure how to pronounce this force auxiliary. It's either Leaf or Lif, but it is worth 92.4 billion ISK. It was taken down by the Pravi Coalition, and it belongs to the red-headed stepchildren of the Crab Army. Now, it is not known why this fax was moving solo through Pravi space without an escort, but I am told that when Pravi did learn of the 2 neutrals in their space, they thought it was privates, and when they found that one was a covert ops, the still was other unknown, they did not know that they were chasing down a capital. Now, when the cap first did Sino in, Pravi spiked the system and forced that pilot to log off. So what happened was the Pravi fleet did break up, and they went to one of the few systems that did not have a Sino jammer up, and awaited the cap to Sino in. Once the Sino was lit, they all warped to that ship and did not kill or tackle the Sino ship, which then they uncloaked him and tackled him and then took him down. But that is amazing that we have a first force auxiliary ship down. And now this pilot, Private Cena, will now go down in history as the first fax lost on the server. Now we might see more fall in the coming weeks with both wars going on, but we will definitely keep a lookout for other big kills such as these. And just like that, after the first fax had gone down, it did not take long for the second and third to follow behind it. In fact, the second fax to go down was an Apostle worth 103.5 billion. Now this was taken down during a battle, and this did belong to the Crab Army and was taken out by silent forces. The third, a Minakawa, was taken out in defense of a Space Cow Citadel taken out by Pew forces that I said were picking off ships from both sides. This Minakawa is worth 103.6 billion, and again, the third to go down. So far, we have seen significant losses coming from this war. Also, before we get into the spotlight of the week, I do want to announce a call that's going to be taking place very shortly between content creators and the dev team in basically a one-on-one, that would be dev to content creator Q&A session over a Skype call. Now, I've already been amassing questions from the community. Questions ranging from when are supers coming, T4 Citadels when, will corporations be able to build more than 5 points of Sov? Basically, a lot of burning questions that are out there, including like, where's Banana? But if there's questions that you guys have that you want me to ask, go ahead and either put them in the comments below or DM them to me on Discord, and I'll add them to the list if they aren't already there. And we're going to go right into our Corp Alliance Spotlight. And this week, back again, is the SIXT SEAL Mercenary Organization. That's right, Good Space Guy is back from his hiatus from the game. The server war enticed him back. They are building SIXT SEAL Alliance again, and this time with a brand new Discord for them, as well as their flagship corporation, Pale Horse, PHPC. You can reach out to him for any of your future contracts if you are looking for yet another Merc organization to do your bidding. They will be available for hire in the very near future. And as always, contact information will be below in the description. It's good to have people coming back to the game no matter what reason it is, and I always find war is a significant reason to bring people back to the game. Okay, next, before we jump into all the kills, I wanted to give a shout out to a pilot who was in our kills last episode for losing 2 nesters. Well, he might have lost those ships, but he gained an FC, and by this I mean he proposed to his fiancée this past week and she said yes. And if you all thought that means we'd lose another player from the community, it doesn't, because she said he is not allowed to leave the game, but instead to go and have fun with the guys and gals he's made friends with, and thank them all for the support they gave him over the last 2 years. So congratulations again to Hell's own Saint Edwin. And we're going to go right into the What the Fit, and we only have 2 ships this week. First is this unconventional Balgorn pilot who decided it would be best to pick missiles over lasers and relied on a mixture of both for defense of both shields and armor. Now, as I continue to state, those ship bonuses are merely suggestions and should in no way help you decide how to fit your own ship. Next, we have this Naga pilot who turned in 2 of their large rails in favor of 2 small ones. Now, I can see the logic in sacrificing max DPS in favor of being able to hit smaller targets, but then again, I'm not much of a solo killer. And in a surprising move this week, I am not actually going to show big kills and cap kills. It's just we haven't put an episode out in a while, and with the war going on, there's just so many of them to put in, and it would add another 15 to 20 minutes onto the show. But in doing so and skipping this, I did go ahead and no matter what the price was, I entered in every single solo kill that was entered in for the contest. So we're gonna go move right into the solo kills of the week and a chance to win a free Omega combo. Starting off in the solo industrial category is Big Ed 707 with his 1.1 billion Condor 2 interceptor kill. Z Killers 1234 is next with a 1.5 billion Orca kill. Roger Rearkin comes in next with a 1.6 billion Orca kill. Cole Forbin with a 2.5 billion Outpost kill. Scumdog Cuddles comes in next with a 5 billion Outpost kill. Next up is Janet Lang with a 7.3 billion Magnet Explorer kill. The Liquor Bandit also comes in next with a 7.8 billion Orca kill. And this one just blew me away. Infested Reaper comes in with a 30.4 billion Badger 2 kill. Now, if you look at the kill, unfortunately that Sea Lion Blue Rorqual module did not drop. But otherwise than that, it is a super impressive kill. And now we're going to move right into the solo PvP category. And starting us off is JCL Cool Runner 04 with a 1.4 billion Slasher 2 Interceptor kill. Next, we have Cather DPO with a 1.9 billion Succubus kill. D-Bagel with a 2.2 billion Garmer kill. Secretly for Pirate is a 2.5 billion Blackbird Covert Ops kill. Tide sends in a 4.2 billion Orthrus kill. Commander Abyssal sends in a 4.3 billion Orthrus kill. Page 1 sends in a 6 billion Succubus kill, followed by Sharika Dariel with a 6.5 billion Rattlesnake kill. Beersbane comes in with a 7.8 billion Drymio kill. Bell sends in a 12.6 billion Atron 2 Interceptor kill. Night Train with a 14.6 billion Probe Covert Ops kill. And the winner this week in the solo PvP category is El Pache with a 25.8 billion APOC Striker kill. Look at this thing. It's disgusting. It's beautiful, but it's disgusting. And that's going to close that category. Now, there is one more I'm giving out for a Daniel versus Goliath situation, and that's for a solo cap kill. And that goes to Stalker with a 37 billion Revelation kill while flying an Orthrus. So those are your three winners. Be sure to get in touch with me on Discord, and I'll tell you how I can get that prize out to you. And that's going to do it for this episode. But remember, if you want more news, there's a couple places you can go. There's always the legendary Rambo's Echoes of New Eden podcast with his co-hosts, Telric and Crimson King. And every Sunday, you have the New Eden radio program, which features not only Eve Echoes, but Eve Online. It's where the community gets together, jams out to some music, talks about news and all community events. And don't worry, I'm going to have more news out to you in the coming days in little, like I said before, little War Report episodes so we can stay on top of everything that's going on throughout New Eden. But until then, have a great weekend, have a great week, fly safe, and remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.